Stand firm in the faith. Act like men. Be strong. In today's culture, that's labeled toxic masculinity. But Scripture reveals the truth. Strength that is rooted in love is biblical masculinity. Make your choice.
Welcome back to the Choice Podcast, episode 64. 65. 4.
It's 65, 100%.
1, 2, no, it's 64.
5.
It doesn't matter. We screw this up. We've screwed this up over 60 times.
Well, at least 63.
65.
Maybe 64.
I don't know.
It's 65.
Nor do I care.
Well, here's how I know.
Let's be honest.
Here's how I know. You said 63 when we first came in tonight on the first episode. At the break, I went to the bathroom. Just a little personal information. I do my best thinking in front of a urinal. And I thought to myself, this is easy for me to remember. 64, 65. That's all we got left tonight.
Oh, okay. 65.
That's how I know it's 65.
Is that right? Okay. There we go. I don't know how I'm so dumb. I cannot get it right.
Well,
I don't care that much. I don't really focus on that. I'm mostly like, hey, honestly, actually, I'm not even like, what are we going to talk about? Because I prefer not to know.
Yeah.
We have an idea. We started this whole thing way back in the beginning, Josh, and we had very scripted, not true. We had outlines and show notes. We had that
and we quickly didn't follow them.
Very quickly, but we always read them before the show.
We did.
And we were like, okay, this is where we want to go. And then sometime around episode 5 or 6, you had I think it was probably Squatch, somebody who was very intuitive. And he's like, look, it's all good. He's like, it just sounds a hair scripted, which isn't bad, but just sounds like that. And you know what we did then? Trashed it.
Yep.
And we've gone way off the script and way off the rails.
But
but we're natural.
One thing I do like about how we've done this is like, we will say, hey, we're going to talk about Adam, or you name the guy, Joshua. So if you think you need to, do some research, read up, get re-smart on it. And we don't share our thoughts.
Oh yeah, beforehand. Intentionally. We usually start to and be like, stop.
Yeah.
Because it's better off if it's original.
Or we start to have these conversations over dinner and one of us will say, hey, we should just stop talking about this right now. Mm-hmm. And let's just go raw, real, and
righteous.
Live.
Yeah, live. And speaking of real and righteous, we just had my eldest daughter, Sydney, and she had some advice for the young ladies and for the dads at the end, which I think was more impactful. We just got done talking about that, but I'm glad that didn't go on the air because this is a heavy hit. That's heavy hitting stuff. But here's what I do want to say, Josh. Not heavy hitting, but it was real raw and righteous for a minute. It was our own small group. It's off air for a second.
It was heavy because she's an intelligent young lady, but because she was speaking from the heart. And I think I don't know Sydney well.
Yeah.
But I think she chose her words specifically. And if you really listen to what she said and you're a dad, you get it. She spoke truth. She was very honest. And I'll tell you, it's also, I love to see this in young people, especially like that age range, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20, when you see them that quick on their feet. I mean, not a breath of hesitation, and she had an answer.
I could not have done that.
I'd have stumbled at 17. If you'd asked me that, I'd have been
like, dude,
all over the
drooling.
Chewing on my own tongue.
So if you're a dad or a mom that is listening, and you're like, hey, how can I give some encouragement? That was the question she got. What encouragement do you have for other teenagers, guys and gals? And go back to the episode 64. Now we know that the previous episode, and somewhere between the 20 and 30 minute mark, and I don't know where it was. Is where
ignore all the things we said
before and after,
and listen to her comments.
Yeah,
there was 2 major comments she said. Listen to those about 4 or 5 times if you have teenage kids.
Yeah, and share it with them if you want to, but here's the other thing about
it's real for me now.
It's incredibly real. I was getting emotional listening to
what
it.
she said was legit from my own life at my age.
And that's how God works, Josh, is because sometimes the person you least expect to speak into you, and they're not intending to speak into you, they're just providing, what the Spirit's leading them to say. They're going to speak into you in a way that you're like, that has impacted me.
Yeah.
That's just what happened. And I would say,
well, that's the same thing that Maddie B was saying about the Vegas trip. And I think this is kind of a running theme with a lot of missions trips that I've heard of or been a part of. You go there thinking, I'm going to go to be a blessing.
Oh, there you go.
I'm going to go to serve. But you said it yourself 2 episodes ago. You were blessed by what you experienced.
That's right, buddy.
Yeah. So, you were definitely a blessing to them and encouragement, but it comes right back to you and you leave just as moved as they were.
They say that's the secret of missions.
Yeah.
You leave more edified than they do.
Yeah.
So the other thing is, it reminded me of, I didn't tell you this yet, this will be real Ron Righteous. How about the fact that 2 of the most off-the-cuff, genuine, incredibly answered moments were from the women we had come in and just, hey, person in the seat was Holly the first time. Hey, Holly, or hey, Sid. Here's a really tough question.
Yeah, so
Christina.
Well, we had. So those are the 3 ladies, and all 3 of them knocked it out of the park.
It's like, here's a really tough question you weren't expecting, because Holly was actually
that one,
the one that she came in by herself.
Yeah,
she was delivering food or something, or giving you something, and came in, and we're like, "Have a seat, Holly. Hey, here's a really hard question," and she killed it.
Yeah,
it was somewhere in the first 5 episodes, I think it was.
We talk about
maybe first 7. Why we believe what we believe is what. I think the episode that one was on. Golly. And the guys we would bring in here would just, like we talked, drool and stumble all over themselves. And these women, their faith, bro, is like, they come in here and they just absolutely floor us, because us, like Neanderthal mouth-breathing men, are like, these girls, these ladies have put some thought into this.
Well,
and if you want to see faith, go ask a woman who believes and legitimately, like, that faith.
That's the key, because let me tell you, you can get the wrong woman real quick too.
Yeesh.
So careful how you pick them.
Golly.
We married up.
Well, that was my advice to her. Just look here.
You did. You said that. Marry up.
This is why you said, look at what we just did. Like, we brought her down. She wouldn't allow us to bring her down a peg, but like, this is why you marry.
Yeah.
Anyhow, what I was getting to the last episode before, we're just going to pick up. This was the most, I think, amazing tie back in we've ever done. This is across episodes, even though we can't remember which episode it is.
Yeah.
We tied it in, Josh. We're back.
We're back.
Anyway, so I was reading an email from a guy named Matt.
Oh, yeah.
That I don't know where he's from, which is when I went to start reading random cities that you should, and if you're from a city, that you share this with your friends that need to hear it for whatever reason, right? You want them to laugh, or you want them to make fun of us, or you want them to do whatever. Just send it to them, and then make 1, 2, then make 2, 3, then create a small group of believers in your, believers in your city, and then get after it. A men's group. Now you got one. So anyhow, this guy's from Matt, Josh, and he kind of tuned us up a little bit. I don't read every email on the air. We don't read every email. Matty B's like looking at us. He's mean mugging us, or he's got something on his mind. And he still hasn't put his shirt on his face yet tonight, so that's a win.
It's actually the first night that we haven't completely.
And we went a little off the rails last time.
We did.
I'd say a lot off. Anyhow, so we don't read and choose to read every email that comes in, but we definitely read the ones that call us out a little bit, because I like that. We like to be challenged. And this is one, and he's been doing it in a friendly way. And so I appreciate it, and so I want to read it. First time I've ever heard your show. Can we do a thing now, since we've got folks like all over the planet?
Sure.
Definitely the country. If you email in, just tell us where you're from.
Yeah.
Like, you can say city. If you have a city we never heard of, say state. That way we know where you're from. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
thechoicepodcastshow@gmail.com, or message us on Facebook. Message. All right, Matt from I'm not sure where. First time I've ever heard your show. I'm also a first responder and EMT. Please remember EMS providers, EMTs, paramedics. When speaking about first responders, it always seems like people mention police and fire but leave out EMS. That's a fair statement. I'll be interested to listen to more shows. God bless. That's how he finished it. A classy guy making a really good point. So, look, Matt, I wrote him back. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I wrote him back and said, understood and will do. Definitely not intentional. Super appreciate appreciative of you all, which we are. We're super appreciative, and it wasn't intended. It was just one of those. This is where we were at. EMT first responder. They deal with some more trauma than a lot of.
Think
folks.
about that. I mean, absolutely, cops have, law enforcement has their difficulties they have to face on almost daily basis. If not really facing it literally, certainly the threat on a daily
Every
basis
day.
will wear you down. Not to mention the fact that it is real in many cases. Firemen, same thing. EMTs and paramedics, ambulance, the whole ambulance crew, you're never going to a good time call.
Why would you?
Right?
Never.
No one's calling you to tell you, hey, I feel great, swing on by. He's right.
Sometimes even cops, and they have a tough job. Go play basketball or have a snowball fight.
Yeah.
EMTs aren't asked to come play basketball.
No.
They're asked. Well, go ahead, Matty B.
Yeah, I think because when we think about when emergencies happen, we think of the people who get there first. Your police officers, your fire trucks.
Sometimes EMTs do get there first.
Yeah, and like when they leave, they don't leave in a fire truck.
Oh, right.
They don't leave.
So the crisis is not over for the
No,
EMT,
no,
is
that
what you're
their
saying.
job.
Good point.
Their job just gets started when they their first thing is, all right, what are we dealing with? And just like they're always thinking, all right, how long has he been? How long has he been out? Is he breathing? How is his heart rate? They have to go through this checklist that they've been specifically trained to ask questions that the fire and police just don't think about. Like, your job is to get them to a safe place.
Yeah.
And that's you're like, all right, I'm going to pass them off.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's why to the normal, like the non-EMS people, we sometimes forget about the...
He's got a Dolphins hat and jersey. I'll bet he's from West Palm Beach. Or somewhere else in Florida. Yeah, you're right. Go ahead. We're talking about him.
But yeah, so I think it's just... because they're not sometimes they're not the first people on the site.
Oh yeah.
But they're the people who get them to the help they need.
Yeah,
like
they'll be the last.
Yeah.
When the fire truck or the cop rolls off, the EMT, EMS guys, their job's not done.
No. And they do more than take take him to the hospital.
I will tell
they
you.
They take what just happened home with them.
Yeah.
100% guarantee.
Well, yeah, I'll just say, hey, Matt, thanks for writing in. And I know that I probably didn't mention it. I was part of the guilty parties, but you're right. It wasn't intentional. That's for sure. I have been on the benefit side, the beneficiary.
Yeah. We found a 6-syllable word. Is that the longest? Is it tied for the longest, or was it 7? It's close. Well done.
Beneficiary. It was totally accident. I said it right. I think I'm using it right too. I was a beneficiary of some incredible guys that responded to my motorcycle accident.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah.
And I'll tell you, the more I think about it, it's been a while now. It's been almost 2 years. I should have been dead that day. And just the amount of blood I lost. Not to mention the fact that I impacted asphalt going 60 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, landing on my face.
That'd have been
or head.
Man.
But man,
he hit a tree. That wasn't his fault. A tree was down on the road.
The tree fell itself across the highway.
And then he came around the turn, hit the tree at 60, and off he goes.
Yeah, over the hill.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, I was fortunate. They were not far from me when they got the call and got me out of there. But even the tow truck guy that took the bike away, he mentioned to Cassidy, he thought that I was for sure dead, just the amount of blood. Yeah. So, hey, my hat's off to it. They've got all my respect. I was a beneficiary of some great EMT, EMS work.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, I'm glad that they did their job.
I'd really like to find that. Like, I'd love to find the crew that picked me up.
Why don't you do that?
I made one feeble attempt. It was feeble, but
did you go to the shop or the station that responded?
No, I asked a guy.
Just go to the station that responded. You'll know who that was. Whoever the closest ambulatory unit is to that accident.
It was a cool motorcycle, so that alone should remind him.
Remind them.
Also, the guy who had no ear on one side of his face. Well,
They'll remember because it's impactful, and I'll tell you. All right, here we go. But I'll tell you why, and this is why I have a ton of respect for EMTs as well, man. I don't think I've told this story on here yet, but I was a intern in college with the sheriff's department in Huntington County, Pennsylvania. Okay, college. It was my senior year, and I showed up to help work the county fair. It was a weekend, and we were just doing county fair things and got a phone call. It's a rural county, very rural, with a couple main roads, and they're 2 lanes windy. Okay, we got a phone call, a radio, that there was a high-speed chase on Route 26, which was right next to us. And,
all right.
And the guy I was assigned to that night, he just said he ran a little hot. He didn't just get there.
He was excited to have you as an intern.
He's excited for anything that's not sitting there watching the fair. And when I say it said go, it's not like he drove the car. Like, it was an SUV because they were in the country. He drove that thing, and I'm telling you, Josh, to the absolute limits it was capable of without pure chaos, pandemonium, and death. And we got to behind this cop car, so he intercepted it. But we were like a mile back from this whole incident. And it was a state trooper in front of us, and then the sheriff's deputy, his partner, and me in this SUV taking turns, felt like on 2 wheels. I'm serious. And he's like, "Arr!" So I'm already strung up on adrenaline and scared to death. I'm a kid. I'm like 20-something years old, 21. Anyway.
Young Eric Albright.
Bro, we came up on this thing, and it's like the first 2 or 3 weeks on the job. And so then we heard on the radio, whatever the code is for crash. You know what I'm talking about? Whatever it is. And we came up on that. So the crash. So we came up around a turn, and the cop was in the middle of the road. Everything all right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think what the code for the 10, it's called a 1080
or something. I don't know. 1050. I don't remember.
20 out. 1020.
So maybe. We came up around a turn because we weren't far behind him, and we come up and we see the dust. Like this was the scene of the accident. The dust. The cop car's in the middle of the road, kind of at an angle. The cop is unable to respond because of what he just saw. He's like shell shocked. This car was going about 80 on a 2-lane country road around this turn. It had 5 people in it, Josh.
Oh my!
This is why I'm telling you that like trauma for them is real, because I'm just like I have no idea what I'm getting myself into, and I'm observing this from a distance. Okay, I'm just an observer. I'm not a participant. I am later. I'll tell you that if you want to hear it. Just an observer. And this car had gone off the side into the dirt berm, and then just caught a wheel and started flipping. Like not end over end, but side over side. You know what I'm saying? It had impact. It must have rolled for probably 100 yards. At some point around the 70-yard mark,
somebody ejected.
Well, it hit a telephone pole upside down and sideways. Like it had flipped upside down, was airborne, hit the pole, ejected 2 of the 3 occupants, and the car was about, I'm not exaggerating, I'm putting my hands up, you can see it, 18 inches wide, and the driver was right there. Where it hit him back at the pole. It had kept rolling a few more times, boom, up into the porch of a house along the road. And it ended up coming up upright. But we got there, there's dust everywhere, there's stuff all over the road, like car parts galore. The horn is going off. And there's a cop there shell-shocked. It smells like something I've never smelled in my life. I guess that's normal for those types of things. And you've got that dead guy in the front. He had deceased. Who's on the horn? This is a chaos scene, Josh. Like he's on. Like, You got a guy in the back of the seat. There were 5 people. It was drunk driving. He ran from the cops as a drunk driver, and guy in the back. Actually, 3 people were ejected. A guy in the back with his back shoulder blade through his back skin, screaming his head off, and you had a girl who was ejected. This is crazy chaos, Josh. Ejected and paralyzed, like not moving, screaming on the ground somewhere around that telephone pole. And then 2 people who were walking around normally when they were ejected, stunned, not able to do anything. Like just like zombies. Like what just happened?
Yeah.
That's the scene we came upon. And then the professionals I was with, I'm serious. Like they responded immediately. They were also EMT certified, or paramedics will say certified. And they're like administering first aid, checking this, whatever, doing
Life-saving
that.
care
Those smart
immediately.
senior guy who was, I said he was hot to start with. He's a smart dude though. He reached under the hood, clipped the horn to just get that chaos out of the. He knew how to do that. I'm like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Right? Shut the horn off and some of the chaos, right? Let it be a quiet scene that we're handling. Anyway, his deputy gave me towels and t-shirts. That's what was in the back of the thing from handing them out at the fair. He said, put it on his back. So I'm in the back putting this on this dude's shoulder blade so he doesn't bleed out, like providing pressure while they're attending to checking the dead guy, checking this paralyzed person, keeping those 2 zombies from going on the road, all kind of stuff, right?
Wow.
The point, all that to say this, I mean, that was a long story, but that was impactful because I didn't know what, frankly, post-traumatic stress or that type of seeing that would do to a person. I didn't sleep for a couple nights, like 2 or 3 nights, and I didn't know why. I couldn't get it out of my head. I didn't know why I kept thinking about it. I felt compelled, like I had to talk to somebody about this. And that was like my coping mechanism, to just talk through it. Like what happened?
Yeah.
Call it, like, you know what I mean? Anyways, it was fine. But
They
like,
see a lot, man.
I still remember, I could smell it to this day. The point is, and that's an EMT's day, almost every day.
On an average day.
On an average day, dude. So like, they are legit people.
So you've got to include them within first responders. I mean, they certainly are. So you've got EMT, firefighters, cops. They don't meet anybody. I shouldn't say anybody. Their normal run-in with the civilian populace is on that person's worst day.
Yeah.
Their house just burned down. They were just robbed, or their car just flipped over.
Yep. Had a heart attack. Grandma's not responding.
It's rough, man. It's rough. And our life is better because there's men and women out there that are willing to do that.
Yeah, we're grateful
on the
for
daily basis.
And to you,
we're
Matt.
Grateful for Matt.
That's right. To you, and I'll email if you need me to. We have some programs I call Valor and Honor Outdoors, a nonprofit that are built for guys like you to get you, because we know what you've been through, to get you, I'm looking at the camera, to get you out into the outdoors to do some outdoor therapy with some other dudes just like you, to just kind of go and hang out for a while.
And I've been a beneficiary of that too.
That's right.
And man, Matt, I'd say Valor and Honor Outdoors is a solid organization. They are there for first responders, military,
and their families.
All right. Look them up, man. They're awesome.
Yeah, so we can help you with that.
Let's get it.
Email me. All right, so we got another email.
Oh,
this is from a guy you may have heard of, Joshua, called the King of Correction.
I've heard of this guy.
So
Let me ask you, are we being corrected here?
I think we're being supplemented.
Okay.
Because we had David, and we're fixing to talk about Solomon. I really... We've said it for 3 hours and we ain't done it yet.
I think we're doing a mailbag episode.
No, we got time to get him to him. At least intro him. Why are you cricketing us, bud? Come on. He's laughing. All right, so he said this. So we just done with David. David killed Goliath with a sling, okay? A sling's not a slingshot. A sling is, turns out, a violent weapon. And here's what the KOC came back with. He's our fact checker. If you don't know that. King of Correction, original gangster, the fact checker, Eric from Pennsylvania. Fellas, he actually signs his email, parentheses KOC now. I love this.
That's awesome.
Fellas, a few fun facts about the use of a sling. I believe Eric quoted speeds of 80 miles per hour. Having seen he's a doctor too. He's a PA. Oh. Having seen what injuries occur from various forms of trauma, projectiles over the years, and this is fitting, I wondered if that was a top-end number or if an expert slinger, quote-unquote, could expect higher velocities. What I found was that expert slingers can achieve speeds of, how fast you think?
I'm going to say 80's low. Think about, you're a pitcher, right?
Yeah.
Think about throwing a fastball.
Yep.
Now, you have a sling. So I think you're going to up your fastball speed.
That's a good logic, yeah.
Kind of like when
It's like going on a plane. You can actually run at 350 miles an hour
There you go.
because you're going as fast as the plane is, plus you. All right, go ahead.
I love it. So I'm going to say
He hated it.
100. Was not impressed. 140 miles an hour.
That's exactly, look, in that, Josh, 135 to 155. That's pretty good. He said, depending on the mass of the projectile, they can have an energy equivalent of a 9mm or 38 caliber pistol. The world record for distance using a sling is 477 meters, or about
meters,
or about 1,565 feet. Granted, this was using a specialized dart-type projectile. Regardless, I think we can safely assume that David was an expert with a sling given his accuracy and the necessary speed that was obtained. He was a shepherd, and he guarded lions and bears, bro.
Well, he guarded against them.
Yeah, he didn't guard them. That'd have been a dumb move, David. I know you didn't do that. You can correct me in heaven someday, hopefully. Stupid comment. He guarded the sheep from them.
Right.
That was obtained because an 80-mile-per-hour projectile seems unlikely to drop a 9-foot giant that has a pretty thick forehead. He was obviously accurate and lethal. Talking about David. If there are any physicists out there, they might disagree with my assessment, but I don't think 80 mile an hour would have been enough to get it done. I just don't want us to shortchange David. Take care, fellas. That's pretty good.
I like it. Well done.
North of 100 mile an hour, rock to the forehead, a smooth stone, as they say, from the brook. That'll kill him. Oh, no, it knocked him out, and then he lopped his head off.
The killing came later.
David was a dude and a donkey jawbone hitting dude, and he had a son through completely nefarious means, Josh.
Did you ever think it's funny that her name is Bathsheba?
And he saw her
bathing?
No, I didn't, but till just now.
Isn't that kind of funny?
What's Bathsheba stand for? Do we know?
I don't know.
Matty B.
Can you look it up, Matty B, and tell us what it stands for?
The meaning of the name Bathsheba. Okay.
One who bathes on the roof is probably what it means.
Well, she did.
No, it doesn't mean that, but I'm sure it doesn't. But I've always locked into
Sheba is a cat food. Do you think it's bathing cat?
While they eat food on the roof?
Now we'll find out.
Every time I heard the story from the very first time till now, when I heard her name, I'm like, that is so funny. You got it? He's already got it?
There are a couple of...
If it says one who's bathing, I'm done for the night.
Done.
No, so the first one is daughter of the oath. This is the most common translation. The Hebrew word bath means daughter, and Shiva can be derived from the word oath. In this context, the name implies a person born under a promise or a covenant.
That's interesting. That's actually not an accident because she has that. I know what.
The second one is daughter of 7. In Hebrew, Shiva is also the literal number 7. In biblical numerology, 7 represents completion, perfection, or fullness. Therefore, the name could also be understood as daughter of abundance or 7th daughter.
Oh,
interesting.
That is interesting. So we know the story. We've gone over it in detail. Go back a few episodes and listen. It's the episode David number 3. But basically, he takes her for his own. We'll leave it there. And she's a married woman to his best soldier.
And who was that? Who was she married to?
Uriah the Hittite.
Uriah.
And long story short, go back and listen. Uriah dies in battle because David basically murdered him by proxy.
Well, yeah, so he's trying to cover it up. So David sees Bathsheba, who's taking a bathing on the roof.
Fact.
And he's overcome with his attraction to her. Yeah. He acts on it, has an affair, knowing that this is the wife of his boy, Uriah the Hittite, a good warrior soldier of his. And to cover this up, he says, I'm going to send Uriah out into the middle of battle, front lines, to the worst part, to make sure he can't come back.
And he didn't.
And if that happens, my sin's covered.
Yeah.
Which this is what we do when we don't own our sin. We make it worse. We try to cover it up. It gets worse.
Yeah, it gets way worse.
So that's where we're at.
And so she gets pregnant. and has child number 1.
And what happens there?
That child dies because of what David did. He repents and God forgives him. Recognize and repent. I mean, that's the first, like, it's clear. David is like smitten, tears his clothes, all this other stuff. He hates it. He hates it for himself and for the child, and he is torn up, and God forgives him. She has boy number 2. What's his name?
Salmon.
It's not Salmon.
It's what I see when I read it.
Yeah.
Solomon.
Solomon. Yeah, Solomon. Salmon. I buy that.
That's what I see.
So it's Solomon, okay? And he ends up being, and this is where we pick up the story on this episode, is Solomon. He's David's son, and David is, if you go to 1 Kings, 1st chapter, David is on his deathbed, not able to move much. How much do we want to talk about how he comes into power, Josh? And how much do we want to talk about the man himself?
You know, I mean, take it where you will. Excuse me. I think it's interesting. In 2 Samuel 12, 20-ish, 24.
Yep.
Old Solomon's birth, and David comforted his wife Bathsheba, and went to her, and lay with her, and she bore a son, and he called his name Solomon. And the Lord loved him, and sent a message by Nathan,
the prophet. Yep.
So he called his name Jedediah, because of the Lord. Jedediah means beloved of the Lord. That's interesting. We can talk more there if you want, or we can move forward how he comes into power or not. I'm good with either, but
bottom line is one of David's other sons, David's on his deathbed.
Right.
And can't really do much. He can speak, but like you got to bring things close so he can hear and talk. Like it's not, he's losing his faculties.
Yeah.
He's 70 something, because that's when he ruled from 30 to 70, something like that. Yeah, 40 years. He died around the age of 70. He's not really all with it. And he's a fighter. This dude has had a hard life. Like it wasn't just lay there and be plush and get fat as a king. David was tip of the spear.
He's a warrior.
An absolute stud. Okay.
Yeah. Donkey, jawbone hitting.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Stud.
He's a stud. And he's at the end of his life, and one of his sons decides he's going to assume power. And he goes out and proclaims that he's the king.
Yep, he tries.
Shortening the story, Bathsheba gets wind of it, Nathan the prophet, and they come up with a plan to tell David, hey, bless this one, because that one wasn't blessed. Bless this one, Solomon, and which is the plan from the beginning, allegedly, I guess. Bless this one, your son, as the king, and then he can take power. And David blesses him, because Nathan and Bathsheba did it together in sequence. And then that's it. Solomon goes out, he proclaims himself as the king, and the people follow him. There's a great uproar in all of the cities, and then this other fake king is like, crap.
Yeah.
I apologize. Have me back. And I believe Solomon says, yeah, come on. Like, no issues. As long as you behave yourself, we're cool. And he does, for as far as I know. There's some other right out of the gate, and this is a part, we don't need to get to this, but there's some folks that David says to Solomon, he's like, hey, bud, there's one paragraph right there in the beginning that says, there's a couple people that I need you to know about, and do not forget. I need you to avenge these ones. And then Solomon goes out and cleans house on these 2 or 3 guys, or the group of guys out of the gate. And then it says from then on, everything's cool for a long time, which is most of Solomon's reign, because he doesn't get into a fight with anybody till the very end of his kingship. But we don't need to get to that point yet. So you got Solomon, who's been declared the king. David dies. He wipes out some of David's closest enemies, so they're not a problem. And so he's kind of got this clean slate to start with, which brings us to our man, Solomon, and what he asked for.
That's where I was going to go next.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's good, because a lot of us are going to say, what is our measure of success? Well, society tells me rise to king, and you're successful.
What is men in this world today? major success? Like, what would somebody say? Hey, what would you call a successful man? One who blank, blank.
Well, if you want to know, just think about when you meet a guy for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Very typical with guys. Hey, I'm Josh. What's your name? Hey, my name's Ricky. Nice to meet you, Ricky. What do you do?
Right, exactly.
I got to measure up and see, am I as good as he is?
Yeah.
You know? Well, if Ricky has a bigger office, maybe a corner office, maybe his own parking space, maybe Ricky was a tier 1 operator in the military and I wasn't. Man, am I measuring up yet?
Yep.
I'm going to say those kinds of things in my head. Maybe that's what I'm thinking success is.
House, car,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
He's got,
What do you do?
4-bedroom house with a white
Who do you
picket
know?
fence, a leased BMW, 2.5 kids, whatever.
Who would buy a lease anyways? I just think that's the dumbest thing ever.
Well, Dave Ramsey would say it is.
That is dumb.
That it's
Because you
dumb.
got to put like $3,000 or $4,000 down to start with. And then you don't even, it's not even yours. And you're
So
limited on mileage. And if you break it, you fix it.
It's good if you're a business and you need to write the whole thing off.
All right.
You can only write the depreciation value off if you own the car.
I'm not bragging about leasing a BMW. That's my
No,
point.
it's dumb. It's,
Own it. You want to brag about it? Own it. But then don't brag because then you
just-
just be a clown.
I'm just trying to rent some status here by leasing my BMW. Anyway, whatever.
Right.
It's a dumb thing. I don't like BMWs a whole lot anyway. But
Status. What do these guys say?
yeah. So what does Solomon ask for? I've got to try hard not to say salmon. What does Solomon ask for? He asks for wisdom, which is intense.
Hit a record scratch, man.
It's intense, man. That's
So, yeah, that's a good point. And this is in chapter 4, Josh. I think this is really important
where
to
you
set
at?
up.
Chapter 4 of what?
3. Yeah. We're in chapter 1 Kings 3. Okay. All right. So we're barely into his kingship. In chapter 2, Solomon's reign's established, where he goes roughshod on all those dudes. And then in chapter 3, which is the very next chapter, the very first paragraph, this will come in. This is all foreshadowing, Josh. Solomon made a marriage alliance with Pharaoh, king of Egypt. Record
Yeah.
scratch again.
So
What did God tell Joshua to do or not do when he entered the promised land?
yeah, well, he's stay away from the Pharaoh and the Pharaoh's daughters.
And don't marry those of the other tribes.
Don't do it. Yeah.
Not because you're trying to belittle them, but because they'll worship gods that aren't me.
And if you heard what our friend Sydney said, careful the friends you put around you is basically what I'm ad-libbing
Yeah,
here.
she did say that. And
But-
so,
It's basically the same thing. She's saying this. I mean, she was, whether she knew it or not,
no, she didn't. But
she wasn't
who cares?
quoting accurately word for word, but she was saying the same thing.
yeah, and so that stands the test of time.
It does.
And so, yeah, 1 Kings 3, Solomon made a marriage alliance with Pharaoh, king of Egypt. That'll come into play as a bad idea later. But anyhow, he took Pharaoh's daughter and brought her into the city of David until he had finished building his own house and the house of the Lord and the wall around Jerusalem. The people were sacrificing at high places, however, because no house had yet been built for the name of the Lord. And I looked up what high places was because I was like, what does that mean? Because the highest of places was the center of the temple. What it essentially means in this context is house churches because there was no temple. It's like if we didn't have a walled church to go to, like a place we would meet to have church, quote unquote, would be considered a high place. So they were meeting in high places.
Yeah.
Like
So it's a
places where
place
they
of
worshiped.
worship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
However, because no house had yet been built for the name of the Lord. Another foreshadowing. Solomon loved the Lord, walking in statutes of David his father. Only he sacrificed and made offerings at the high places. So Solomon went there. And the king went to Gibeon to sacrifice there, which was one of those high places. For that was the great high place. Solomon used to offer 1,000 burnt offerings on that altar. And then at Gibeon, now because of his faithfulness and his sacrifices, this is verse 5. At Gibeon, the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream by night, and God said, "Ask what I shall give you." And Solomon said this. Now that's where we're at. So the Lord has shown favor on Solomon due to his father and due to Solomon's faithfulness, right? And Solomon at this point it seems to me, he could have had anything he wanted. He could have asked for all those things Josh just mentioned. I want tons of wives. I want
BMW.
BMWs. I want fame, fortune, wealth, power, status. But here's what Solomon said. And Solomon said, you have shown great and steadfast love to your servant David, my father. He's saying this to the Lord in a dream, I guess, but he appeared to him, doesn't say exactly how, because he walked before you in faithfulness, that's David his father, in righteousness and in uprightness of heart towards you. And this is Solomon saying this to the Lord. And you have kept for him this great and steadfast love and have given him a son to sit on the throne this day. That's Solomon himself. And now, O Lord my God, you have made your servant king in place of David my father. Although I am but a little child, I do not know how to go out or come in. Man, that's humble, isn't it, Josh?
It is.
And your servant is in the midst of your people, whom you have chosen, a great people, not making it about himself still, to many be numbered or counted for multitude. Give your servant, therefore, and this is it, an understanding mind to govern your people, that I may discern between good and evil, for who is able to govern this, your great people. I want to spend the next 20 minutes and the rest of the show right square there, Joshua.
So the notes I have for that for 1 Kings.
Isn't that crazy?
Chapter 3 and 4. Here's what I put. Worship precedes wisdom. How about that? The offering, 1,000 burnt offerings at Gibeon was extravagant. Burnt offerings symbolized the surrender, his surrender. Solomon's wisdom encounter happens in the context of worship, suggesting that divine wisdom follows consecration, not ambition. He sought God before he sought answers. And he asked for an understanding mind, not to be great, but an understanding mind so that he could recognize the difference between good and evil so that he can be a fair, upright leader of God's people. That's an honest heart. It's an open heart.
That's a super open heart. And I love it. I want to dissect this because there's a lot. So he ends up being the wise. This is before he's the wisest man that ever lived. This is an incredibly mature thing to say. And even though he says, I am but a child, he's incredibly self-facing here and humble. Now, here's when I break it down. And actually, Josh, I didn't think of this when I was prepping for this show, this episode or whatever, reading through this. But you know what just came to mind? Remember what we said way back in the beginning in the How to Pray episode?
Yeah.
Remember the acronym ACTS? How to Pray. So if you want to take it like step by step in a format like adoration, contrition, thanksgiving, and supplication.
Yeah, that's right.
So start with that. So like, Lord God, you're almighty, and I don't deserve. Well, you're almighty, and I'm grateful for the love you've shown us. You're a God of all time and a God of one, right?
That's your adoration.
Contrition is, I don't deserve any of it. I'm a sinner, and there's nothing I can say that will earn me your grace on my merit.
Apart from you, this is what I am.
But I'm thankful for what you've done and all you will do, and the opportunity I am to even be able in a room to have a conversation with you and invite you into the temple, which is my body.
The Thanksgiving.
Supplication is special requests, right? And here's what I'm asking for you. So adoration, tell him, thank you. You're in awe of who he is. Recognize who he is. Great point. Recognition. I like that. Contrition, why I'm not worthy.
Without you, this is all I've got.
Thanksgiving for it, for the mercy and grace you've shown me. And now get to at the end.
Yep.
So let's take the look at that with Solomon.
Well, it really starts in 3:3, that first part of the sentence. Solomon loved the Lord, walking in the statutes of David his father.
Yeah.
It's intense.
It's super intense. And then he goes on to, and what shall I give you? And Solomon said this. And the first thing he does, you have shown a great and steadfast love. He says, you have shown great and steadfast love, acknowledging God for who he is and what he's done. Right, Josh?
That's it.
And then to your servant David, my father, because he walked for you faithful. Then acknowledging his dad. Not anything Solomon. He doesn't say, look at me, here's what I want, wine, special request. No. He's like, let me tell you about who you are, first of all, and appreciate that. Let me tell you who my father is and why I'm here. Okay? And then, oh, by the way, he said, and And now I am, and he's like, but I'm on this throne because of my Father. He acknowledges that. But I don't deserve it. I am but a little child.
Yeah. I don't know how to come in or go out.
Right. And so
I don't know
that's the contrition.
anything.
So with adoration, the Father and his Father, the contrition is I'm but a little child, but and I don't know how to go out or come in, but I'm thankful because I'm in the midst of a chosen people who you've given me, an unnumbered, too many to be numbered or counted for multitude. And therefore, here's my special request.
And I think you get to that right special request by following that model. When you can honestly and openly say, this is my adoration. This is my recognition of who you are. This is me clearly, honestly recognizing who I am apart from you.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for that. Now let me ask you for a dirt bike. No, you know what I mean? It doesn't fit.
Yeah.
Now, if you just tell 13-year-old Josh, hey, if you want something from this God of yours who's like a genie in a lamp, you just pray for the three things you want. I want a dirt bike, a four-wheeler, and some new baseball cleats.
Yeah, that ain't the right way. Yeah.
But when I recognize who he is, I recognize who I am, and I'm grateful for his mercies, and now let me open my heart in front of him with that, then I'm going to ask for something that's probably a lot more in line with the Spirit of God than the fact that I want a dirt bike at 13.
Right. That's so good, Josh. And I think you hit it right on the head because what he asked for is the ability to lead God's people well.
That's it. He didn't ask for more riches, although it came.
He said the wisdom and I think he said might have said wisdom, but knowledge and discernment.
Understanding.
And discernment, yeah, between good and evil for who's able to govern your great people. So he's basically saying this is all about them. This is going to be a theme later. Bring this up later. Remind me. But this is about, I shouldn't be here. I don't deserve it. I'm but a feeble kid, rather. I want to lead your people who are too great to number in multitude. Give me wisdom to do that. And that's what he wants. You talk about a king. That's my guy right there. That's who I want leading me, at least with that mindset. But what you said is in line with the Spirit of God, Josh. I think that's it right there. When you say, what are you asking for? And this isn't a how to pray up or so, but I like to touch that because that's where we're at. He said, look, if you're going to pray, Matty B, if you're going to ask for something, your supplication, you're like, what should I ask for? Or what are the special requests? Align them with this or consider it. A good place to start would be fruits of the Spirit. And I've gone there a whole bunch of times. Align it with something along the lines of love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against those things, there's no law. And that's in Galatians 5:22. And so essentially what he's saying here, discernment to lead the people, Josh, love, yes. Joy, already having doing it. Peace amongst the kingdom. Patience in governing the people. Kindness to deal with them. Gentleness, great, felt self-control, like all of those things, he's kind of summing them all up and give me the discernment to lead between good and evil, which are fruits or works of the flesh. I think that's it, Josh. Mm-hmm. He's basically saying, and Paul didn't write this for another 2,000 and some years. He said, look, let me lead with the fruits of the Spirit and be able to discern that and avoid and recognize and avoid the works of the flesh. Right?
Yeah, and can you go over that Acts model again? I'm forgetting what the C is.
Contrition. Basically saying we're not worthy of his grace and mercy, but yet he gives it to us anyway. And there's a million reasons we've done it. It's like, Lord, I repent for this is contrition. This is where you give your sins back to him. I am not worthy because of I was greedy, I lusted, I did something, I cussed, I had a few too many drinks. I killed Uriah. I shouldn't have done that. Like any of those things, right?
Well, yeah, so that's it. I'm going back to that Acts model, acknowledging who God is, acknowledging who you are apart from him, because we aren't worthy, but
that's pretty good.
Because of him, we are worthy.
That's it.
That's the only thing that makes us worthy.
Jesus and his efforts on the cross.
That's it.
That's what brings us back into his
gives
presence.
Us the right to even go to the throne
and have a conversation, period.
Apart from that, we're not even worthy enough to even approach the throne of God.
That's right.
In prayer even.
Yep.
But because of what he did on the cross, we're washed white as snow, and we can go there and say, I had Uriah killed, and that was wrong. I'm going to acknowledge the greatness of who you are, acknowledge what I am apart from you, and be grateful for your mercy and the work Christ on the cross, which allows me to even mention the supplication
that's
part.
good, Josh. Get after it, buddy.
Right?
Yeah.
And now, but if I'm doing those first 3 steps with an open heart and an honest, righteous heart, that supplication is going to be more in line with what Solomon asked for.
Yeah.
And not saying, I just want the bigger house. I just want the better job.
So good.
And look, he's going to make those things happen if that's what he has for you.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's the wisdom that he puts on your heart to ask for, then ask for wisdom. Be a little careful because he's going to give it to you and it doesn't just come like magic dust.
Yeah.
You have to get through some stuff
You
to
earn
get that
it
wisdom.
a lot of times, yeah.
Yeah, you're going to learn it. Earn it and learn it.
And it's never
Learn it.
and that. But the point is, what you're saying, Josh? Oh yeah, it's like the only thing you have to give up to be a faithful Christian
is nothing except all your sin.
I was going to say is everything.
Yeah,
everything of the flesh. You
Well,
have to put on a new self. Paul would
That's
say.
a real, whatever you want to call it, a something fancy word.
That's profound.
And
That's a something
a
fancy
not
word.
fancy word. That's the big flip flop here. You know,
Yeah.
like, salvation's free, costs you nothing, and in the same breath, but it also costs you everything.
That's right. Salvation is free, but it costs you everything. Because you're going to give your old self completely up.
Yeah,
And not only that, you're going to want to do it.
yeah, you're gonna want to.
That's
And
the crazy piece.
Yeah, and it's gonna be hard sometimes, and you'll enjoy it, and miserable sometimes, and you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, because you're going to get refined. Like you are
Right.
going to get what you asked
You're gonna
for.
get better at this.
Right. But at the backside of this thing, you will show less of anger, jealous, fits of rage, sexual adultery, blah, blah,
Well,
blah.
think about it. Think about
And
it.
it's much more
We can
love,
all
joy,
get
peace,
to
patience.
a part if we focus on our old selves long enough. We can all get to that part and be like, I am not even worthy to be counted here,
I wasn't then, nor am I now.
and I shouldn't even try this life with Christ because of what I did in the past. Well, look at David. Your boy has an affair with the wife of his friend, has him killed to try to cover it up, and still finds a way back to Christ.
Yes, he does. But not
To the
without, I mean, he's judged.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
some-
Well,
there's
there's gonna be consequences.
Well, I'm saying he was. That first child died.
yeah,
Like he paid,
yeah,
but he owned it. And that's the dude principle. When all else fails, just own it. It'll always be better off. And that's the recognition and repentance. And that's the parable of the lost son, like we talked about a few episodes
as
ago.
soon as he owned it, it got better for him.
Bingo. The second he recognized and turned around, he's like, I'm tired of eating pig with the pigs. I could do this. I could eat with the slave. I'll go back and be a slave with my father's house.
And live better than I'm living
And
now.
yes, and the second he recognized that and turned around, what happened?
The father ran to him.
He came sprinting down from what it says is a long way off. That's it for us.
And while he was still a long way off, he ran to him.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
It's super cool, which means like the only thing we got to do is just recognize that thing, turn around, and he's coming.
Yeah.
And full restoration will occur. Robes, rings, full meal,
Sandals.
feast, sandals,
Yeah.
everything.
Not just any calf. Bring the fattened calf.
Yeah.
The best one that's ready.
And I mean, this speaks to me differently than when I actually was prepping for this, because I was like, we'll talk about Solomon, he's wise. But like, as you just go through these words, like you go through this scripture and through these verses, Josh, you find a newfound respect and understanding for like the faith that we claim to live. But we claim to live well, but what I meant to say, we claim to live well, but we always do it poorly.
Well,
The facade is, hey, I'm doing okay, but the reality in your private prayer moments when you're going through these types, your contrition what's your contrition look like today and this morning?
Yeah,
and I'll bet you ain't telling everybody.
Yeah,
what's
say
in
let's
there.
just not say it out loud. That's the quiet part you don't say out loud, or you don't want to.
Yeah.
But the other thing here is this just lines up with, and we'll hear about it as we go more into Solomon, not salmon.
I hope you meet him in heaven someday.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
Salmon.
apologize for that. It's the same story. These guys are great guys when they're walking with the Lord.
That's a great
when
point.
they take their eyes off, man, it's a wreck.
It's a train wreck.
And it's not that I'll never be like these great men of the Bible. They were just so perfect. They weren't perfect.
Not even close.
They were not perfect.
They're number one. They're real people.
They're real people that had real flaws, real screw ups. They're no different than us.
No, they're the same.
And
the same God as yesterday and today, the same people.
There's a reason why he chose a bunch of unworthy dudes to be the example for us.
Because they're all unworthy.
And we are too.
No one's righteous. No, not one.
Not one.
Yep. And so the point here, Josh, that's preaching, man. Get after it. But like, it doesn't matter that we're all fleshly and unworthy. He will use that because of his perfect wisdom. He's like, I don't care. I got you, bro. Relax. He's going to enact his will, which means restore us to him from the fall in the garden through as the broken people that we've become. He's like, I still got it. Okay. There's a whole thing we're going to do in Genesis about the lineage, and there's in Joshua 7 where you talk about one brother and then it's another. There's a whole thing. But he's like, I got it. I don't need it to be perfect because I'm going to get to the end state, which is my son, part of the triune God on earth, dying on a cross, earth quakes, curtain rips in the temple. Solomon builds it in the next episode. The curtain rips. Actually, it was rebuilt. That's not the same temple. But anywho, the curtain rips from top to bottom. You now have access. You are now the temple, which we'll talk about. The point is, all of this was put in place through David.
Man?
Huh?
From top to bottom.
Top, not bottom up, like you ripped it with your hands. Top down, Josh.
Yeah, because
it says that.
There wasn't just a tear that happened.
Yeah.
You know, like it was specific. The veil had a little tear.
No, the veil was torn, son.
Torn from top to bottom. It's open for you now.
Indicating you now have access to God yourself. Because, like we're going to talk about in the next episode, the temple that was covered, that curtain was covering, was the innermost place. Once a year, highest of high priests. There's a whole thing about it we will get into.
Tie a rope around him.
Yep, or you die. Because if he does, you'll pull you out.
Drag his dead body out of there.
That's exactly right, because you don't want to go in there. Yeah, anyway, so he'll work through imperfect people, his will, to get back to the point in which the end state, before he comes back, is to get us back in concert with him through the sacrifice of his son. And now we are now made right.
Yeah.
Again, which allows us to have these conversations in prayer, right? Isn't that crazy?
It is a wildly far-fetched story, and I think about that. I think everything we just said, measure that and compare it to any other faith you've ever heard of. Is this the story of Islam? No.
No. And Solomon? No.
Is it the story of Buddhism? No.
Sure ain't.
Hinduism? Absolutely not.
Nope, not that one.
This one, there is nothing required of you as far as work to earn it. It's been done, earned for you.
Step into it.
The God himself that created the universe did the earning part, paid the price on your behalf. No other faith I've ever heard of tells that story.
That's right. And not because of something he did, so he had to do that for us, die for us. He did it because we blew it.
Right.
Way back in the beginning.
Yeah.
We blew it. He's like, well, I'll fix you. I got you.
Because we are the crown of his creation.
Yep. In his image. And that's something else. He comes after us. That's the parable. He will come. He's seeking relationship. He wants.
Just turn
around.
And, we were talking about it earlier. So
I'll be here.
We're to imitate that to others because we were on the recipient end of that as well.
Oh, yeah, great point. To whom much is given, much more is required. That's exactly right.
It's deep.
That's what the Bible says.
Yeah.
It is deep. It's good. Oh, Joshua, we're at the 59-minute mark. I think we got to Solomon.
Finally got to salmon.
Yeah, we did him a service. I love this. This is only 3, not even 4. This is chapter 3, buddy. Then the next one.
Next one what?
No, go ahead.
No, I think my comment will follow up yours.
Yeah, the next one we're going to talk about what Solomon does with that wisdom and the alliances he creates and who he is and the effect he had on the world because of what he did and what that looked like. And so, and some application, I think we'll probably talk about some application for some young dudes who are listening about building things before you bring things in.
Maybe where he screwed it up a little bit.
Yeah, he did. He already screwed up because he brought in old Pharaoh's daughter. And if you remember back, he said, don't marry the daughters of the other faiths and religion. God said that because they're going to worship false gods and it'll bring you down.
It's going to make it harder than it needs to be.
And we'll learn that.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was fun. That was a lot of fun, Joshua. But hey.
This is a great evening.
It was, man, we came a long way. Didn't we? We started off saying we're going to do 3 episodes on Solomon. We ended up doing 30 minutes at the end of the 3rd episode on Solomon. But the first one was a lot of fun, and that was USA Hockey, Freedom Everywhere. The second one, my daughter impromptu brought the Bible and then dropped the most crazy truth bombs that I've heard on this podcast in a long time, and it's going to make me really think. And then on this one, we shout back out and to our EMT friends. Unintended avoidance on the previous episode. And we love those guys. And then we finished with Solomon and his wisdom, Josh, and how to pray and what Solomon did to show us. So I think we came as full circle tonight, buddy.
Sure did, man. It was great.
Matty B, you got anything for us? He's just shaking his head no. He's like, I think I'm ready for bed.
I think Matty B's tired of us. He's had it with us tonight.
He's shaking his head no. We love him too. But all right, boys and girls. It was good. Hey, as always, you can hit us up at thechoicepodcastshow@gmail.com.
Yeah, send us an email.
Yep, you can find us on YouTube, Facebook. Hit us a message there if you want to. I would offer if you're one of those 1s or the 2s in a certain city, because there's a whole bunch. I mean, I'm hundreds of cities now. If you're a 1, make it a 2. And if you're a 2, make it a 4. Share this with your friend, somebody who thought it might be interesting or needs to hear it, right? Pick snippets. And
send us your questions if you have some, or correct us if we misstepped somewhere.
Yeah, we'd like to hear from you. We read a lot of them.
Yeah.
We sure do. All right. With that, friends, remember this. Men of the world, follow trends. Men of faith, like our good friend Solomon and his wisdom.
Follow truth.
Make your choice.
Make your choice.